questions concerning the appeals process on YouTube. On the left, you see what happens when you succeed in expanding the button right here that says appeal the decision and submit appeal. When you hit this thing, all of this stuff below is invisible. You have to hit this and open it, and it leaves the submit appeal at the top. Now, if you just hit the submit appeal thing, all it does is send a blank appeal, which is always rejected. So the procedure is that you have to hit the little chevron, as they call it, up arrow, down arrow. You have to know exactly what it means. We're now in the territory of technocrat geek knowledge for most of you. A lot of you don't know that that's what it's supposed to mean. And instead of just hitting submit appeal, assuming that it's going to open a new tab for you to submit an appeal and type up your plea, it just sends a blank one. Then if you do hit the chevron and it expands like this, how it works: we'll review your content and let you know within 24 hours. If it didn't violate our policies, we'll put it back on YouTube. Leave a comment is optional. No, it's not. You have to submit an appeal. A blank appeal is auto-rejected. Although at times, what this is really saying, if you were taking them literally and believing them, it's that the Google advertisement bot, the AI routine that fails all the time to get things right because we all get the wrong things because it's broken and nobody should invest in Google. The AI bot they use is presumed to be wrong, and that means it really will have a human appeal process. That's the way it was originally, and they were overt about it. Now they don't tell you that that's what's going on, and they will claim wrong, make a wrong claim, that a human reviewed the flagging you got. Now, what happens in a normal situation? What do you want to do? Appeal the decision should auto-expand, and then submit appeal should be after you fill in your appeal, and the word optional should not be here. Because it's not optional, because it's auto-rejected. Yes, I know that every once in a while, what you're really seeing is a, would you like us to review the bot? But the fact that Google employees have whistleblown about the fact that they're not allowed to contradict the bot sometimes, that they will get punished if they prove that the Google flagging bot is just wrong most of the time. Google doesn't want that to be a thing they have to talk about. They don't want the investors to know that their bot, which is the only thing they make money off of anymore, the AI routine that decides what ads you see and what videos you see, is wrong. We all know what's wrong. And by the way, if you're an investor and you still believe that that it's right, you're wrong. You're just mistaken, and or you're believing the propaganda from Google. The other thing that I want to point out here is, if you're still running ads through Google because you think that they give you better results, please understand that they flag me for promoting something that I'm denigrating and debunking. It's always the same thing. My video or the video contains me debunking something. Obviously, this requires that I read whatever thing it is that I'm debunking. It's a false claim of some kind. In this case, it was a really old, basically a piece of propaganda that was done years ago. And yes, YouTube and Google have a bot routine, a subroutine, that will flag me for saying that it is wrong. Yes, I've actually had a video flagged for stating that YouTube flags videos inaccurately and makes mistakes. But yeah, submit appeal after second sentence, and then what you're supposed to fill in here so it'll get an appeal. This is where you fill in your appeal. This is not an accident. Nobody who does user interface design, which Google is obsessed with, they've been screwing with the user interface recently to the point that it's almost unusable. I mean, YouTube is almost unusable right now. They keep messing with things. I mean, I'm not kidding. They're just, I don't even think people are doing it. I really think the Google bot's doing it. But anyway, anybody who knows anything about user interface design or filling out forms or making things clear and intuitive knows you don't put the submit appeal button up here above when you're going to fill out your appeal. That doesn't make sense on the face of it, and it was obviously done so that they could get a lot of failed appeal processes, so they could auto-reject a bunch of appeals. So if you're going to appeal a decision, hit the down arrow, make sure you have the latest browser, and never use Chrome. I don't care if Chrome works better for Google. Refuse to use Chrome anymore. Stop using the goddamn browser. It's ruining things. But anyway, once you do that, don't hit the submit appeal button. Type in what you're doing for your argument, and then only when you've done that, hit the submit appeal button. And by the way, if you're using an old enough browser, like literally a couple of weeks old, the submit appeal button won't work unless you blank your appeal. Okay, I'm going to do the standard joke. Dear Google, prove to me you're not sabotaging our appeals process, but don't say it. Show me how you're failing to do this without saying you're trying to do it. This is really obvious. They don't want you to be able to submit an appeal that will go through. So they claim the appeal itself is optional when that's not true. And they put the submit appeal button in the wrong location. On the right side is how it would look bare minimum. Obviously, the submit appeal button should be over the far right for Western standards. Now, this is not a problem caused by it translating between languages either before any of you do that, since the submit appeal or appeal the decision button, this should be a button where it opens a separate page where you can do this. That's the way they had it before. And an appeals process on YouTube actually worked because it always went to a human that would always say, oh, no, it's just the Google bot screwing up. Or, no, you're being flagged by people who are angry with you. The video has nothing to do with what they were complaining about. Now it's the AI bot doing the flagging. So they have to argue with Google's cash cow. They're not going to do that unless you fill in the entire thing. So you hit the down chevron. Do not click the submit appeal button. You have to hit the down arrow. It'll be a down arrow, then it'll look like this. And then fill this in, and then hit submit appeal. If it doesn't work, immediately just close the browser. You're going to have to load up a newer one, and then go through the procedure all from the beginning from your email where you had the complaint. Do not hit OK or close or cancel or anything else. They also put all the, where this button is here? They put a bunch of buttons down here that basically mean cancel. And yes, again, it wouldn't let me submit an appeal unless it was blank at one point, which was really, really dirty trick mode. Again, Google, tell me you know that you're full of shit without saying you're full of shit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. This has been your video on the dirty tricks Google plays while you're trying to submit an appeal.